Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Have you seen the Abrams tanks in Ukraine yet? Have you heard anything about their successes? Or are they so stealth that you don't even know where they operate? Well, I have an article from Sputnik which claims that so far there's no Abrams 1 tanks operating or detected on the front. Why is that? I know, and you know, that Leopard 2 tanks were fucked up by the Russians on multiple occasions, and I just made a video yesterday, I think, I don't think I know, regarding the Leopard 2 tanks that are, most of them, out of service, even either blown by the Russians or, how should I put it, taken out of commission by some little drones. And supposedly these guys cannot fix them. Now, is this the same fate for the Abrams tanks? I suspect an order was given, don't use them. They will be picked one by one. But maybe not. But it's been about, I would say, 2 months almost since the Abrams 31 tanks were delivered to Ukraine. And you might think that they are over there actively engaging the Russians so they can push the Russians to Vladivostok. No. So let's look at this little article coming from Sputnik. So, this is from today, the 4th of January 2024. US's Abrams tanks not observed on battlefield after being delivered to Ukraine, reports. Now, it doesn't mean that if you didn't observe them, they are not there. Let's start with this one. But I think that since propaganda is one of the main, how should I put it, warfare techniques in this kind of situations, these guys in the West and the Ukrainians would have hailed the successes of the Abrams tanks, like would be, I don't know, Rambo, destroying 50,000 Russian T-90 tanks or something. But nothing of that kind. I wonder why. I will tell you, maybe you remember, I made a video on this one. If you don't remember, I will inform you. The Brits told the Ukrainians not to use the Challenger 2 tanks, their tanks, the fantastic tanks, in risky operations. So don't use your AK-47 when you go to shoot it. Use it only when you look at it, you show it to everybody else, clip right here, chick, and that's it. Don't use them in real fight, because I know when you shoot, the magazine might fall or whatever. No. So let's look over this. It's not a magazine. It's, how do you call that? Magazine? I think so. Now I was with a clip, and I said, well, a clip and then a magazine. Anyway, let's go to this article and see what else these guys say. My point was, if you have a weapon, it's supposed to work. Reliability. That's what matters. But don't use them. That was the Brits. So maybe the same order they received from the Americans. The M1 Abrams main battle tanks, which were delivered by the United States to Ukraine 2 months ago, okay, that was around right, 2 months ago, have never been observed on the battlefield. Is it because too cold for them? Are you cold? Have never been seen, observed. The Forbes magazine. So this is the Forbes. So it's not even the Russians. The Russians just picked up the article or the report and published it on their little thing. Sputnik, not Russia, Sputnik. Adding that the whereabouts of the combat machines were also unknown. They're somewhere in Moscow or something. Or who knows on what kind of market, black market, green market. In late September, the White House confirmed Abrams tanks started arriving in Ukraine. In total, the US administration vowed to give Kiev 31 Abrams tanks. That's nothing. Unless you think you're going to send 30 Rambo fighters. Okay? All right, too many movies, my friends, too many movies. These guys are so naive. 31 tanks is 31 hits. That could happen in one day. If you detect them, Emil, yeah, they will detect them. You can hear them, you can see them, you can smell them, you can touch them. They move, they emanate heat. So yeah, that's a lot of things that. However, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence service, Budanov. Well, how's your wife, Budanov? They said the Russians again did not do their job, which is poisoned her, quote unquote, halfway. How is that? With Norchakov, something that if you take a little mini, you're dead. But somehow she's like an elephant, can take it, pounding. All right, let's move on. Budanov said that these tanks, and I'm quoting, will not live very long on the battlefield in an ordinary combined arms battle. What? So Kirilo Budanov said that? I'm sorry for what I said about your wife. Will not live very long on the battlefield in an ordinary combined arms battle. So he knew something that we also knew. They're not Rambo, pop, 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 pop. In a similar vein, Forbes reported on Wednesday that even the most well-armored tanks are vulnerable to attacks by first-person view drones. What did I say? Adding that the Ukrainian military should modify the US tanks to take them more protected, to make them more protected. The mobs may include cages, slats, and reactive armor, although the latter is unlikely to be installed since it will add several tons to already heavy vehicles, the report said. Western countries have been providing military aid to Ukraine since All right, so if Budanov said that, I'm very surprised. Let me read again because I can't believe my eyes. Is that what he really said? However, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence service, Kirilo Budanov, said that these tanks, and I quote, will not live very long on the battlefield in an ordinary combined arms battle. Oh my God. They're coming from Budanov, they will be dismissed two ranks down, get him to whatever, captain. No, he's a general, isn't he? So he would go to a mayor, let's say. All right, my friends, why do you think it's so? I think Budanov is right. Not necessarily that the tanks are bad. I'm not trying to imply that. I think the tanks are good, but so are the other forces, the Russians, to detect them and destroy them. Besides, if you remember, the Russians they say, took out, this is a preemptive reason, it's like a preemptive justification when the Russians will blow them up, blow them up if the Ukrainians are allowed to use them. They will say, see, yeah, but those Abrams tanks were not like full armed Abrams tanks, because the Russians, the Americans said, we're going to take some some software out of it and certain high-end technological advancements that were, this is what gives it the edge. We take it out because we're afraid of what? Before we give them to the Ukrainians. So that means you downgraded from a fantastic, the best, into an average. That means I give you an average weapon to fight someone, and the chances that the other guy will blow you up is going to be increasing. So I gave you half of a weapon. I mean, I shouldn't give you at all. I have to stop the fight instead of having your people die for their interest. So again, when they will be blown up, if they will be allowed, this is going to be one justification. You're going to hear idiots. Not idiots, weasels, infantile weasels say, yes, but that was not a tank, man. We still have that one over there. It's in the museums, looks good, shiny, very good. Working, I don't know. It's like the M16s worked in Vietnam. Give me the AK, motherfucker. Right, even the US troops use AKs in Vietnam. Why? For the reason I mentioned, they were reliable. Now the same, remember the F-16s? The American says, well, how should we deliver the F-16s to the Ukrainians? Because they're very, very sensitive. Their landing gear is, it has like thin legs. So if it goes on a rough Russian/Ukrainian Soviet airfield, it's going to fall on its nose. What the hell is this? Oh, we want to make it lighter. So, okay, if the wind blows above 10 miles per hour, don't fly them. They're very, sensitive. They're so smooth. That's a weapon. It's supposed to be a heavy, how do you call it, a reel made of, to be able to be reliable. It's not hardcore made, not and then again, make sure that the airfields before the F-16 takes off or lands takes off, that you sweep the airfield so there's no any debris over there, because the intake is so big and so low will inhale whatever little rock of Arkansas, and will boom blow up the one engine 1976 engine of F-16s. My friends, it's garbage. When I go to war, I want to make sure that whatever I have here is reliable. That means if I need to defend myself or attack, poo-poo works. I don't have to be fancy and, how do you call it, scratch my ass while I'm doing it or something. No, I wanted to do the job. That's the first one. And the second one, I wanted obviously to be not only reliable, but accurate. So same with the tanks. You send the tanks over there for what? To fight, to win. You send some average tanks? Why do you even bother? You're afraid that what? You cheat the Ukrainians doing that. The same with F-16s. They send the F-16s. I made a video yesterday. 40 years old. The Netherlands, Belgians, and whomever, another Norwegians. They sent about 60 F-16s, 40 years old, refurbished. The F-16s that these three countries will not allow their pilots to fly them. They're so old and so used, but they give it to the Ukrainians. Now that's a crime. All right, my friend, here it is, my friends. I'm waiting, and I said, I don't know, maybe a week ago, I was asking the same questions. Where are the Abrams 1 tanks? I said, maybe they're so good, which, no, they're tanks. Boom. You can, everything I said, including from the satellite and from the high altitude drones. You find them. Where are they? And now we find that they are not. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.